Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to our Open Central Asia Regional Interest Community Alumni Connect series. We're really glad to see you all and having you all here. And we're happy to have new our new guest. So alumni, just a second. So Open Central Asia in our Alumni Connect webinar. So we have today Tatyana Letyaikina from Kazakhstan, and she will introduce the topic personalized and localized grammar learning. And let me introduce Tatyana, our speaker. So Tatyana Letyaikina, an experienced TEFL professional with over 30 years of practice across all levels of education, having earned her master's in TESOL from Sterling University. She has initiated numerous training courses on IT in TEFL. As the president of CASTI for more than a decade, she has coordinated nationwide projects in cooperation with regional TEs and in partnership with the British Council, Kazakhstan, Hambi Educational Trust, U.S. Embassy in Kazakhstan, and China Daily. Currently, her main professional interests focus on AI trends in TEFL and connectivism approaches to strengthen language and communication skills. Once again, welcome to Tatyana. So we are really happy having you here, and we are eager to learn more about your experience. And the stage is yours. And let me assign you as a host. Just a second.
Hello to everyone, and thank you so much for your support and joining. I am happy to see the partners and the participants of the former and current projects, and I'm happy to see new people. And actually, Gulruh has mentioned that the topic relates to grammar, contextualized or localized and personalized grammar. Actually, I'm happy to invite you to share your experiences as well.
Just a second, Tatyana, sorry for that. So let me, I forgot to mention that our chat moderator, question and answer moderator will be Nadira Kushbakova. So Nadira is here, one of our coordinator. So Nadira, welcome. So now let's start our session. Once again, sorry, Tatyana, so you
No
can start.
problem. Yeah, so my relation to open program. Yeah, so goes back to my huge experience within the access program coordination and instructor. So that's why, I would share my experience in terms of the progress of the students of the access program with their grammar. Actually, this topic is not that new, and that's why I've already mentioned that I'll be happy to hear your ideas about the way you make it more close to your students' experience. And I believe there are many ways to do it, and to do it well. That's why, yeah, it would be really lovely to hear your experience as well. Okay, so as you see, and I'm not sure the way I'm going to share it with the organizers of this series of events. I am happy to use Mirabot, and this is my first time experience with the slides. Let's practice this and let's try this optional function of them. So not only, bots, but even slides. Okay, so this information you already know about me, but let's continue with the next one. Okay, so by the end of this session, you will be able to define communicative, but actually not only communicative, but blended, student-centered, grammar teaching and learning. You will be able to identify form and meaning-focused instructions, define teaching tips for meaningful drill exercises, and apply instructions for authentic grammar instructions, which I consider is crucial, well, to make any learning grammar or vocabulary or any other skill relevant to students and to the success in learning. Okay, so well, the idea is that it's not very convenient to accept people and to run the session.
So I'm accepting, so you can continue.
Okay, so if you have a look at these highlighted notions. So, well, the success in learning will be, or in learning structures, so will be if this learning is meaningful for our students, if we apply not only authentic materials, but authentic instructions, and we will discuss their meaning, these concepts well with you later. So then if there is a balance between form-focused and meaning-focused tasks, I hate word activities, but tasks. So, and if there is a kind of implicit learning, but not only explicit learning, so indirect learning within meaningful and interesting, appealing, appalling tasks for our students as well. So, because, well, having a good number of teaching experience of yours, probably you have already noticed that even doing tons of exercises with different textbooks, your students keep complaining that, please, teacher, well, I'd love to learn and practice my grammar. I'm still bad at grammar. Well, your point of view, what might be the reason of these complaints? You are very welcome to share in the chat. By the way, can you see my presentation? Yeah, now I guess, well, you can see the presentation, yeah? Communicative, blended, student-centered grammar teaching. Can you see this slide?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yes? Yes, thank you so much, because, well, something, yes, went wrong. So, your ideas, what might be the reason, the reason we in the problem, that your students keep complaining that, please, teacher, well, I need grammar practice, I'm really poor at grammar structures. What might be the reason? Have you noticed or have you thought about it? So, well, and we think that we keep doing different exercises and we keep practicing and against, so they keep doing, well, or making mistakes with this or that structure. Okay, we will discuss. Thank you, Anna, for your response. Yeah, so that more often teaching of grammar is completely disattached from the actual life. Yeah, so this is the idea that we are going to discuss today, how to make it relevant to their life experience, to make it meaningful for them. That's true, but not on the examples in the textbooks. Well, they are not sure how to use it. Thank you, Natalia. Yes, I would agree with you. And we would discuss, well, how to ensure them or empower them in the use of this or that grammar structure in their real life communication. So, well, Valeria has mentioned that grammar rules can be very different from their native language. Absolutely, yes, I agree. But as I've noticed, yes, well, it could be a slight difference, yes, well, between Russian or Kazakh. Yeah, Kazakh would be absolutely different. Yes, I would agree. That is. So in this case, well, yeah, they do need drill exercises, and we would speak and discuss the meaning or the idea of this drilling. They keep forgetting the rules, okay, so, but it's really interesting, Gulmira, the question to you. Well, when we speak in English in any other language, do we think about rules or do we think about our content and meaning to deliver the message to our interlocutors and partners? So students have little practice. They don't know how to form and use. Thank you, Nina Nikolaevna, yeah, for this idea. So that's why, well, as you see, you have mentioned that they lack practice and they don't know how to use. That's why they do need these drill exercises. And we don't, I would suppose that lots of grammar exercises, well, should be done and should develop their progress within grammar learning. For example, okay, now let's discuss how to convert any drilling. So, well, the idea of drilling exercise to practice the form and to bring the structure and form use or probably, well, and articulation of a new form. Well, should bring this habit into a skill. That's why a good number of exercises must be done. It's a must, and I would support this idea. The more, the better formula would work with learning a new grammar structure. And one more point, well, would you agree with me that, well, even doing any drill exercises within a textbook, well, do you ask your students to voice up, to read up this or that sentence? Or you ask them just to raise their hands? Well, for example, self-correction or self-assessment. Will you check your answers? Well, if it is done in a workbook, yeah. So if it is done in a notebook, will you check your answers with the visible, well, answers on the screen? And do you expect them just to nod, or do you ask them to read up this or that sentence? It would be interesting to know. What is your approach? Do you ask them to read up the sentences from a textbook? Alima, well, writes, I ask them to read one by one or in a choir. Thank you. I ask them to read up. Well, thank you so much. I do agree, and I'm happy that you ask them to read up. But what's the point of yours to read, to ask them, well, reading up these or that sentences or their answers, their responses? What's the point of yours? To repeat questions. Yes, thank you. Now, will you share, well, what's the reason of doing it? What's the reason? Some of you and others would say it's just a waste of time. So what I need to check if they did this or that exercise or structure, if they did it correctly or if they have any problems. Is it a waste of time? Okay, thank you, Angela. I want to understand if they understand the context. Okay, but it's a little bit more extended and different. Mind registers the model, practice noticing the order and form. Thank you. That's true. But, well, would you agree, Anna, that it would be fine and enough just to do it in a written form to show it, to show, not to read up, but to show to a teacher and see, well, if it is done in correct way or still they have a problem? To improve their phonetic skills. Thank you so much. Yes, that is. So I wouldn't say that phonetic skills, but, well, would you agree that a new structure requires a little bit different articulation? Sometimes we, well, ignore the pronunciation skills and articulation, but, well, you have mentioned that grammar structures are absolutely different from our native language in Russian and Kazakh language. So that's why, well, they keep, well, struggling even with the pronunciation. So there is a kind of association with been done. So I've been done, it's been done. So, well, they need practicing not just in written form and seeing this or that new structure, but they need to practice it and to articulate. So let me remind you that the English pronunciation is absolutely different from Russian and especially from the Kazakh. It's horizontal horizontal, whereas, well, or vice versa, whereas, well, Kazakh pronunciation is vertical and the English pronunciation is horizontal. That's why they need, well, practices the articulation of new structures as well. So this is a point, and that's why another point, well, if they read with the right pronunciation, not only pronunciation of a sound, but with the right pauses, and if they make emphasis or stress, logical stress on the notional verb, but not auxiliary verb, it means they do understand what they are reading and they do understand the meaning of a new structure. Would you agree? Pronunciation, stress, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Anna. Well, this is the point, yeah? So, well, while they are reading a sentence with a new structure, and if they make the correct stress, logical stress, with notional verb and auxiliary verbs, so it means they have an idea, a good idea about a new structure. Okay, so it was a little bit different, yeah? So, well, which is not related to our topic. Let's go back, well, to a typical exercise, yeah, from a textbook. So the idea or the theme is a verb construction. You can definitely recognize which of them, the use of verb plus object plus to infinitive. So model is given, the exercise, the instructions correct the mistakes. Okay, so I wouldn't ask you to write the right version. I would ask you how to convert this instruction, which could sound a bit more personal to our students. What will you do to personalize these sentences to your students? Any ideas? Yeah, so I'll give you time to think how to make these sentences a little bit personal for our students. Use the structures talking about themselves. Yes, very simple. And well, even if we ask them to read up this or that sentence again, she suggested that we should go to an Italian restaurant. So immediately we can respond. Would you suggest going to this or to this Italian restaurant? How about you? So that's why, well, we expect them not just to say no, well, but we expect them to suggest something different. Yeah, I suggest going to this. Okay, it doesn't relate well to, but nevertheless, yeah, this is the point. Yeah. So using pronoun I. Thank you, Alina, well, for this idea. So it might well give an idea or well a suggestion that well it could be true to you. So let me see the comment. Yeah, so usually, well, I provide immediate feedback with reference to students' response. What about your last suggestion to your family? When did you last help your kids buy an outfit? Something like this, okay? So that is. So I would provide immediate feedback and invite students to extend a little bit this or that drilling exercise. Yes, time matters and we are limited with this time. That's why I wouldn't well do this with every sentence, but with some sentences, few sentences that could be relevant to my students' life experience. Okay, so we speak about life experience. That's why well we do need to know a little bit about them. Probably not a little bit, but much more. Okay, so this is the idea. The first strategy I use is providing immediate feedback with drill exercises, with any drill exercises. Okay, then we should consider meaning and form focus drill exercises. So, well, let's have a look. I haven't. Let's have a look at Excel textbook for the 7th grade. I should have prepared it. Okay, let's go back. It would take time, sorry. Let's wait and let's find this 36th page. Mhm. Okay, so in current textbooks for Kazakhstan students, yeah, I know that not all of you are from Kazakhstan, but according to the core curriculum for Kazakhstan schools, comprehensive schools, we have not just structures or grammar, we have use of English, which is quite nice. Just a sec, let me check. Yeah. Sorry. Lots of. Okay, let's have a look at these tasks. So, and you would recognize that the structure, which is practice, is about present perfect. Yeah, let them practice. Yeah, so the idea of the task number 6 is to practice the form. Yeah, the question forms with the present perfect and the use of ever. Then, just, and yet. My suggestion is, well, let's have a look at task. Yeah, so number 6, 7, they are targeted at practicing the form. Well, how about, well, the task number 8, Kanat is going on a hiking trip this weekend. Write sentences using already or yet. So the idea of this instruction is to practice the form or the meaning. Is it visible?
Yes.
Thank you. So, well, the objective of this task is to practice the form or the meaning of present perfect. Form. Thank you so much, Natalia. Yes. So, well, again, still, yes, well, this is targeted to practice the form. Although, well, the textbook writer use a local name like Kanat for students to sound, yeah, so like local. Well, and familiar and interest them, still it is targeted at practicing the form, which is good enough. As we've mentioned, the more the better, so well for them to keep to get used to a new structure and with all these phenomena I'm speaking about, well, these notions like already, just, and yet. Okay, let's have a look at the task number 9. If it is targeted at form or meaning. What has happened to each person? Use the phrases below and just to write sentences. She is tired. She has just finished the work. He is upset. He is just upset. Meaning, okay, so well, there are some some ideas, yeah, some phrases which are given for immediate creativity. So, well, both could be, yes, well, because you think that, well, since they need to choose the relevant phrase, well, for this or that sentence or idea, it could be because, well, they should, they should match the situation, the context with the correct phrase. So I would name, or according to Jeremy Harmon and his 5 stages of grammar presentation, which is context, then noticing and explicit presentation, I would relate it to immediate creativity when we guide students with some phrases and with the context. So, well, to practice again a new form in a context which could be relevant to our real life situation. Thank you. That is. Let's have a look at task number 10, if it relates to meaning of form-focused drill exercise. Read the example, then complete the sentences with have has been or have has gone. So you are familiar that there is a huge problem for our students here. has been to or has gone to Almaty, but in different situation. Again, well, what is good about this textbook, so they appeal to local reality and context, again, to interest our students or to make it relevant to them. The difference between forms and meaning as well, since, well, probably they need to think about, well, the content itself that relates to sentences. Yeah. Okay. And now let's have a look at another one that is number 13. Use these time expressions, write true sentences about yourself. So they have practiced a little bit the difference between present perfect and past simple. And now, well, it's time for them to speak about themselves. Yeah, so, well, but you see, well, the weak point of this task, of this instruction, is that it doesn't provide enough guidance for our weak students. So, and what might be the problem? So also, well, everything looks logical and, well, students seem to practice or to have practiced this structure with a good number of exercises, with already, with yet, with just, with ever, with difference. Yeah, probably they do need a little bit more exercises to drill this form. But, well, it finishes logically. So how about you? Please speak about your experience, about your situation with these time expressions like go just last month. What might be the problem or what might be the challenge for our students? Doesn't matter, advanced or low-level students. Can be passed, yeah, so they have practiced, you see, well, sorry, I haven't drawn your attention to focus your attention that they would practice the difference between present perfect versus past simple, probably not that much, yeah, so, and students still need some exercises to see the difference, but, well, they finish quite logically, yeah, so that it's time for you to speak about yourself, what you have done, and when did you last do this, or what happened to you last, something like this, yeah? So, but what might be the challenge with the instruction within the 13 task? For example, yes, have you finished your homework? Yes. So when did you finish? I finished my homework and now I go. That's okay. Example is given. It's okay. So every time I think about, I would provide them with sentence structure again. Okay, the word order of idyllic words. Thank you. Confuse and describe a situation when something happened would be better. Yeah, so probably, well, have you done this? And you would add, will you add time expression, well, when it happened to you? Thank you, that is. But again, I'm thinking about my students, well, I'm thinking about my access students with little life experience. And sometimes they struggle with the context. So since they have little life experience, they struggle with the content itself. They don't know what to speak about. That's why I sometimes guide them. So your experience might relate to household chores. It might relate to your hobby or something. So not on the academic, yes, well, context or experience, but it might relate to your family situation or something like this. So they still need some guidance, some kind of meaningful guidance again. So what context, well, to provide. Yes, and well, it would relate what has happened, or again, about your achievements. Usually we speak about achievements, but these achievements would relate not only to academic context, but these achievements could relate to some relationship, probably some social media, probably your hobby, what you have done by this day, and when did you do or when you finished this or that activity, for example. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Well, Nikolai, sometimes, well, yeah, that's why, so very good point, too many sentences to write. So how would you direct and guide your students to make it not valid, but feasible for them? Yeah, they might lose their motivation. They might be frustrated with so many phrases to use. How would you guide them? Nikolai, how would you guide them? Too many sentences. How to make it feasible for your students? Any ideas, ladies? If we have a gentleman, let it be. So how to guide and how to assist, well, students, if there are so many phrases given and that's true. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, choose at least. And again, so they are free to make choice. Choose at least 4 of all expressions and write at least. Yeah. So if you are able, you are welcome to write more. Thank you. No problem. That's true. Yes. Thank you, well, Anna, for your ideas as well that, well, you prefer to guide them, describe a situation when something happened to you. What has happened? What did you do? Yes, okay. Like flex essay, let it be. Thank you. So this is a point that, well, when we look at the pages, well, within this or that textbook, we should clearly identify, so which, what is the objective of every task? And it's, yeah, by the way, so this is a question to you. Is it okay that most of these task instructions relate to form rather than to meaning? To practice in the form, but not meaning. Is it okay? Is it good? Thank you, Alima. Make up sentences with 5 expressions. Okay, will you answer my question? Then we will go to the comment of Alima. Okay, is it good if most of exercises are targeted, or the objective of them is targeted at practicing a form? Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I would agree with you in terms of mastering the form, but should be both to contextualize and put it in use. Yeah, but probably during the first lesson, when we introduce a new structure, well, we should first of all target at the form, because again, so we should drill well the new form, and they should feel comfortable enough well with the pronunciation of a new form, and to see as many examples, or probably as much context as possible where this structure could be used and sound relevant within different contexts. But again, well, this context must relate to their life experience, or probably to their age group as well. Thank you. And it's okay, perhaps. Well, but yes, well, please. For the first lesson, it's okay to practice the form first of all, for our students to get used to a new form, to its formation, to the use and the use of different contexts. And let's go back to Alima point, well, and her instruction, make up sentences with 5 expressions. And will you compare with Anna's instruction, choose at least 4 of all expressions? So which instruction you prefer, make up or choose? Both of them sound of imperative mood. I need to move to a different job in the new economy. But if we say Zamzagul, do you have any idea? The temperature will... Yeah, hello. Okay, which one do you prefer, make up or choose? No difference, thank you. Well, personally me, I hate this make up, because make up sounds like, well, So they need to create a new context, and it's a higher level to create something new. So whereas choose sounds, yeah, like, well, it's achievable for me. To choose, well, I don't need to struggle with making up and think about the context like this. So choose sounds more relevant for me for my instructions because, well, it means that my students, well, they have some kind of support. Everything you need to do is choose, but not to make up and think about the context, something like this, you see? So that's why, well, I'm thinking about, well, the students and consider that, well, what is possible. And again, I am able to choose rather than I'm able to make up. It's more challenging. It sounds more challenging for me. Okay, thank you. Will you consider from the point of view of students what is achievable again, or what is feasible for them and well, less challenging for them? This is a position of mine. Okay, thank you. Let's go back. Let's go back and let's continue. And hopefully you can see the mirror board now. Yeah, it shouldn't be the problem for me to manipulate with internet. And another very crucial topic, how to make it personal to students, if we consider their interest and demonstrate the use of a new structure within the interest of them. Once I've appealed to my students well and to their interest, and I've learned that their hobby is like Life is Strange. This is a kind of video game. And I'm wondering if you can hear the sound. Let's relax a little bit. I'm not sure. Can you hear?
I discovered I could reverse time.
Can you hear the trailer?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome home, Max. Thanks, Chloe. Hey, give me that. That's Rachel Amber. Obviously, she was a good friend. She was my angel. Something happened to her. Where did you get Rachel's bracelet? Give it to me right now, asshole!
You better step back before you regret it, girl.
You don't know who you're messing around with. You can rewind time, Max. That's insane. We have to play. I know I'm not dreaming this. I hope I did everything right this time. I want to spend every minute we have together having fun. I've got my power to protect you, right? The dark ring. What does this even mean? What are you doing here, Max? He's hiding shit. We have to find our Max. So we can get real justice. This feels like the end of the world.
So this is official, yeah? You see trailer, Life is Strange. Yeah, so I was really impressed, well, the way all the movies, cartoons our students are watching, and they not addicted, but they really like. So, and I've learned that within this movie, we can discuss health issues, but usually we associate health issues with some physical issues. Am I right? Like headache, sore throat, like this. Consulting, not Gemini, but Copilot gave me some other ideas. It could be not only physical health, but it could be emotional health. It could be really healthy relationship like this. And I've learned that. Okay, let me demonstrate because it's a bit bigger topic. So, and it could be for discussion as well. But nevertheless, these ladies are really good. Here they are. I'll give you time to read a little bit about these characters. This information is in Russian, sorry, because I prepared it for Leo's seminar. But the point is that
Tatyana,
So
мы
much.
сейчас должны... are we supposed to see your slides right now?
Yeah,
I don't think I do. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe
okay,
I...
thank you. Thank you for noting. Let me find not the slide, but so how about, well, the Max Caulfield Life is Strange character?
Yeah, we can see it on the
And you
mirror,
can
right?
read in Russian, yeah?
Yeah, Max Caulfield,
I
главная
hope that,
героиня.
yes, well, you are able, every of you is able to read in Russian just to have an idea about the issues, yeah? So I've mentioned that we discuss health, but it could be not only physical health, it could be emotional health, health in our relationship, in social life, like this. So, and yes, well, I was impressed to know that my silent student, well, she's happy to watch this type of movie, which is again, well, you have noticed that it reflects the challenges of our teenagers. So, and so she's able to, she's quite powerful, she's quite strong lady. Another character, so, well, she suffers, yeah, with loneliness, something like this. So as you see, well, these characters reflect the interest, not only interest, but the challenges of our teenagers as well. And have a look at this Kate Marshall. She's very sensitive, yes, quite religious, but she's suffering from bullying at school. So as you see, these challenges are quite typical for our students. And well, we should think about the context or about, well, again, we want them to use present perfect in these very situations for them. And again, I consulted Copilot, and these are the, wait a bit. So, Max Caulfield, she is anxious dreamer balancing stress, insomnia, empathy, and fragile resilience. Any ideas, any questions about, well, this character with the present perfect? Anxious dreamer balancing stress, insomnia, empathy, and fragile resilience. Very good vocabulary, but how about present perfect use? Any ideas?
Like what has happened in her life?
Has happened. Thank you. Very simple. Yes, that's true. And they would share. Yes, again. So I'd love to know a little bit more. And will you, well, share, well, the knowledge of yours or the way you treat her within this movie? Yes. Okay. So, and some ideas like when Max, yeah, will you give an example when Max has changed the past with her power? Do you remember that she's powerful enough? Well, she's able to change this or that, well, or go back and rewind the time, something like this, yeah? So, and they can share these experiences with us. So then, as for Chloe, she is rebellious survivor facing trauma, grief, substance use, reckless copying. So Copilot suggests me that, well, we'll give an example when Chloe has been betrayed by her friends. Yeah, she has been, so it's present perfect passive. Okay, so some friends have betrayed, or who of your friends have betrayed her, something like this. Okay, so and they would again describe this context in terms, or they would use present perfect in terms of their favorite character. And finally, Kate Marsh, who is gentle soul, burdened by depression, bullying, face suicidal thoughts. And there is a suggestion. We'll give an example when Kate has received support to recover. Okay, so that's why, well, it could be a relevant use for them with the use of present perfect and again past simple to compare. Yeah, when it happened. Will you describe a little bit in detail? The same is true about another interest of our students who are males and they are good at city chess. which is gameplay and epic city and racing. But when we speak about the topic transport, it's not just to drive by bus or to drive by car, yeah. So, but we could cover such topics as safe driving, which is again relevant to our context, safety for pedestrians, or even driver's culture. And I'll give you the opportunity to have a look at these examples, which are again generated by AI. Some changes, yeah, some I have edited a little bit to sound it more relevant, but nevertheless, yeah. So, well, and the expressions I highlighted, they sound quite authentic, yeah, and this language is really useful for our students. Would you agree? Playing a game, have you caused any or have you ever caused any dangerous situation on roads? So good English, why not? Have you followed the speed limits to avoid accident? Again, we should follow the limits, follow the rules. Why not? Well, it sounds as a good English. Have you practiced safe overtaking during the race? So which is really nice language, which is not given in a book, yeah. So this language our students do need in their communication because, well, some of them they keep playing it online, and why not to motivate them with this learning or within this context. The same is about safety for pedestrians, and let's have a look at the examples given here. Have you ever noticed that pedestrians cross the road without looking both ways, which sounds really nice? Have you stopped at the crossroad to let pedestrians pass? Why not to discuss the issue? Because sometimes they are quite addicted to racing and they ignore this or that. Well, could be not only a human, but it could be any other signal or object on the road. Have you ever raced too close to sidewalks, endangering pedestrians? So again, well, good language use, vocabulary, and again, well, we speak about present perfect and comparison with the past simple. And something interesting about driver's culture. We never discuss driver's cultures when we speak about transport. Have you ever discussed driver's culture within the topic, the theme transport and city? Me not, unfortunately. Okay, so that's why it would be lovely. Have you ever yelled at other players, or have you ever honked aggressively and created stress on the road? And have you ever shown patience when traffic has slowed you down? Quite interesting to discuss, and to discuss the behavior of drivers in different countries, demonstrating short video. Why not? Okay, so as you see, quite interesting if we just find out the interest of our students, so which games they play, which movie they watch, and thinking about this, well, you can consult and you can appeal to Copilot, Gemini, or ChatGPT. They will give you not hundreds, but a good number of ideas and sentences which you are welcome to add it to for your students. And finally, another interest of my students is the Kazakhstan comedy. They are really well, so as you know, well, this time is a boom for Kazakhstan comedy and movies. So that's why, well, I have consulted again what is what about top 10 Ausini. I found you are my everything. Why not? Well, sounds like funny, but again, well, we can discuss a good topics within this movie like first love and generation gap. And these are some ideas about present perfect in this context. Jackson has realized his feelings too late. Is it true, or would you agree or disagree with this point of view? Something like this. Any questions, any ideas about, well, or any comments about, well, the use of students' hobbies or interest and convert their interest into the proper grammar use within this or that themes. What do you think about it? Would it be relevant? Would it be interesting, motivating, and memorable for our students to practice new grammar structure in the context which is appealing to them? Thank you. Yeah, you would argue and say that it would take time for you, but to assist you, so will you appeal to Copilot, to ChatGPT, or any of these platform, and they will give you dozens of examples. The only thing you need to do is to edit, well, for the level of your students, but actually you can simplify with the help of AI as well if you think that it sounds too challenging for them and too much and too heavy vocabulary or advanced vocabulary for your students. But I believe that, well, they would learn both. They would practice a good structure and they would learn the vocabulary that they would need for this or that discussion. Yeah, thank you, Anna. Korean movies are a hit, but you see, well, again, it might depend on the on your geography, on the context. So for Shymkent people, they are happy with Kazakhstan movies. Yeah, well, for Kostanay people, probably they are crazy about Korean movie. You see, so it depends. So that's why, please, will you appeal to your students to find out, well, their interests? Again, well, you see that you think that, well, they are happy about Korean movies. Well, we assume, but when we speak to them, so we could find out something, well, which is something absolutely different. Okay. Podcasts also, so they might be, but again, while listening to podcasts, yeah, it could be they could listen, watch, well, different podcasts on different topics. Thank you. Asking them is the best because, again, so we can assume, but when we ask, we can find, well, absolutely different. For example, for me, it was a surprise to know that Life is Strange is so heavy and challenging, well, cartoon, and my silent student is really interested in watching something about relationship psychology, so which is really heavy to discuss, but this is the realia and interests of them. Thank you. So this is a point, and you're welcome to use Mirrorbot for slideshow, as you see. And in conclusion, yes, well, so this is a point that, well, studying, learning any structure, new structure should be, first of all, meaningful and purposeful drilling. So, and you can easily convert any drill exercises into personal to them, just while discussing couple or a few sentences from any drill exercise. And we should balance between form and meaning focused exercises. Yeah, but we should be thoughtful. If these, again, well, form focus could be, well, could be numerous during the first lesson or second one, but within the third and the fourth lesson, I guess we should add more meaningful contextual, local and personalized, well, context for our students. And as for authentic instructions, yeah, we should think about not just authentic context, but authentic instruction, that the instructions, the question we ask them should be true to the real life situation, but not just make up. We choose much more often compared to making up. Even this instruction make up, I don't think that it sounds authentic, whereas choose sounds more authentic and true to life situation. Now your questions and comments, people. Thank you, Alima. It would be memorable if they would watch with motivation and find something new for themselves. Yeah, thank you, Alima. And it's a good point. Yeah. So when they watch, or probably when you give them a good sentence, which sounds really good in English, and if you ask them to notice both a new piece of, a new structure and a new vocabulary, so if they are able to notice, it would be memorable for them because they need to find the difference between authentic context and the way they communicate, and they should change this the their language again, their wording, their pronunciation as well. Yes, so that's why noticing the way it is used is really very nice skill. And we should again guide our students to find and notice the way it sounds in authentic context, well, and in the way we speak. Thank you. So the history of the song, the author's youngster sister. Thank you for the history, Zamzagul. Thank you, Anna. Great. Thank you for this attitude and positive feedback. Okay, well, hopefully I challenged you as well, and you would have a look at any grammar or at any textbook from the position of what is the objective of this or that task and how to make it relevant sounds to my students and what are the interests and needs of my students to make a learning structure meaningful, purposeful, and memorable and exciting for our students. Thank you. Questions? Any questions? Thank you, Nikolai. Thank you, Alima. Thank you for your ideas and comments. Yeah. Well, as you see, well, you give the some ideas, some thoughts for reflection, for discussion. That's why, well, any crazy idea is very welcome in the chat and sharing. Yes, and again, well, please, will you use Mirrorbot? And as you see, they've introduced both AI, and it can compose some sticky notes for you and even slideshow. I'm happy about it, and there is no need to switch from this or that screen when we use something online. Thank you. Have a good, enjoy the time and enjoy your weekend. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for sharing the great presentation. You not only teach us about this topic, but also you helped us how to use the Miro. And I hope this is very helpful for our colleagues. And thank you so much for the great active presentation participation during the webinar. So
yeah, huge thanks, yeah, for your comments in the chat. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Tatyana. Thank you so much.
Oh, Madina, happy to see you in the chat. Thank you, Madina, for joining.
So, okay, thank you, Tatyana. So, can I share with the upcoming updates? Dear participants, if you have questions, please continue typing to our chat box so far. So let me remind you our upcoming events. And once again, dear Tatyana, so thanks for such kind of insightful session. And while while your sessions, so as a teacher, I have also reflected on my teaching grammar, and then I have gained some new ideas in order to apply the grammar into my English classes. Thank you. So, so dear our colleagues, on December 6th, we are going to held our next Open Globe Insights with Rian Cipta Julianda. I hope I have pronounced it correctly, from Indonesia. So you are welcome to join, and it will be 5 p.m. By Tashkent time. And and please apply to becoming one of our guest speaker experts in Educator Connect special webinar, Cascade Learning, and Central Asia Voices Alumni Spotlight and sharing tips. Nadira has also shared with these links already, right, in our chat box. Please save this Google Forms and apply to be our next guest speaker. We are happy to having you all in our big growing community. Here you can see our Facebook page and YouTube channel as well. You are welcome to like, to comment, and share among your colleagues. Okay, thank you. That's it. And Nazira, would you like to add anything?
I want to say that I really appreciate your continuous participation in our webinars. We hope every webinar helps you a lot in your teaching, and I hope this today's webinar is also very useful, and we hope you will apply in your teaching, and my big appreciation for the continuous and engaging participation on the chat, and thank you so much. Please stay tuned. We hope one day we will have not only the online webinars, we hope we have offline conferences in the future. Thank you so much for joining today. Thank you, Tatyana, Letyaikina.
Thank you. Have a good evening, all. Thanks again, dear Tatyana. Hope to see you again um, in our sessions. Have a good evening, dear colleagues. Take care. Have a good weekend as well. Bye bye.